Hello and welcome to the Computer Guru Show. My name is Mike, here to deal with your technology needs and treat you like a person in the process. 790-2040. If you want to be part of the show, that's 790-2040. And this is your free hour of tech support for the week. So if you have any computer problems, technology issues,
ghosts in the machine,
marital disputes, you just give us a call, 790-2040. We'll give you some advice, and it'll cost you nothing. Nothing.
I don't know. That sounds a little pricey for me, Mike.
Yeah, nothing.
I don't know if I can afford that.
Can't afford the nothing.
The bank charges me to have nothing, so...
This is true. This is true. If you ever don't have money, they will charge you for not having money. Well, they'll charge you money to not have
You're
money.
too poor, so you're going to have to pay us.
Yeah.
Makes all the sense.
All of it. So, as you can see, Rob's here.
Yes, I am here this week.
Rob is... Tara is not, because...
I am always coming in to take up the slack when Tara can't cut it.
I don't think that's the case.
Well, she's not here to defend herself, so
right.
That is the case.
Okay. Yeah, well...
Hear that, Tara?
I think
doing your job.
I think her broodlings have the plague or something.
The plague, yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah. So, 790-2040 if you want to be part of the show. We're going to talk about a bunch of different stuff.
Interesting stuff.
Last week was all, Apple versus the FBI and things, and me getting a little mildly fiery.
The rant.
Yeah, you were talking about encryption and stuff, which is actually good because this week we're talking about what happens when stuff isn't encrypted.
Well, let's talk about, when things get encrypted when they shouldn't be.
Yeah. As a result of, things not being encrypted.
As a result of things not being properly compliant. So, in certain industries, there are regulations. There are suggested and, in fact, mandatory ways that you're supposed to be storing and protecting your data from hackers, untoward individuals.
Any type of
Attacks. So let's talk about HIPAA compliance for a moment.
It's kind of a big deal.
Right, this is something you know something about there?
I do.
Yeah, so because his other job, is in a hospital. So you probably heard about this one then.
Possibly.
So there was a hospital in Hollywood.
Ah, yes.
That apparently wasn't living up to their standards of data protection.
Even a little bit.
Even a little, right? Well, they might have a little, but not enough.
Their database protection was that the server room was locked.
Right, which is part of HIPAA compliance, by the way.
Right.
You do have to have a locked server room. But that's not enough.
Yeah, no, not even.
So they ended up getting a CryptoLocker infection where it encrypted all of the hospital's data. And they basically said, so you want your patient data back? That'll be $17,000, please. And the hospital ended up paying it.
Well, I mean, that's the thing about the CryptoLocker is you really don't have much of a choice. It's pretty tough.
Right. This is one of those things where an ounce of prevention can save you $17,000. Right. And I get it. Right. And I see it all the time. And I kind of have this conversation with business owners a lot. I'm like, okay, you're going to spend $500 right now that you probably don't want to spend. But if you don't, let's look at the $5,000 consequence.
Minimum, yeah,
right,
if
so,
you're lucky.
Right, and that happens a lot, right? Or we'll see people that are like running like pirated software. And I tell them, I'm like, this $149 piece of software is a minimum $10,000 fine if you get caught running it.
Yeah, it's a whole different ballpark when you get caught as a business running pirated software.
So I'm like, well, why not just pay the $150 for the software, all right, and save the money long term, and you don't have to worry about it.
That's what happened with this hospital. If they would have properly secured their network and taken precautions, then they wouldn't have. I mean, honestly, they kind of got off lucky that it was only $17,000.
Right. Well, and I'm sure that's not the only repercussion that they're going to have. There's going to be a fee for not being HIPAA compliant.
Yeah.
And there's going to be lots of, let's say, turnover in the IT department. And the thing is that HIPAA compliance isn't that hard, right? It's a lot of paperwork, and it's a lot of people asking really dumb questions. But it's not that hard to be compliant. Hardware firewall, certain policies and procedures for your users. Voila, you're pretty much it, right? And that's all it really takes. And the other part of this is that it's these IT people, right, they're doing something that they shouldn't have done, right? Because somebody on the network obviously clicked on something in their email to get the CryptoLocker infection, which is pretty much the only way you get it. And you can get it from, in certain instances, from a website, but that's almost always an email gig. And the fact that somebody had enough access on the network to encrypt all of the data
means that nothing was locked down or controlled.
Right, or this person had God mode access, which they should not have. Nobody on your network that is a normal user should have that type of access, right? It's just that it doesn't work that way. And that's the same type of debate we have with a lot of business owners, is that one of the things that we do when we go in and take over their network is we take their access away. And they're like, but I want to be able to like read, write everything. And I'm like, no, you don't. Because you're going to be the one that gets that infection, and you're gonna crypto lock your entire network.
And you don't even get to blame anyone for it, because
right.
It's your own fault.
And then who are you going to blame?
Yep.
Yeah, so I'm taking your access away. And if you need access to a certain thing, you let me know, right? Because I'll happily dole it out as needed. But it's a part of those, it's just a part of a way of thinking when it comes to these, if you're securing a network, you've got to be thinking a certain way to do it. And you have to be looking at, and I hate to say it, but it's true, right? So users are going to be your weak point in every...
User error is what causes probably 90%, if not more, of problems.
It's what caused this infection on this hospital network. Somebody clicked on something they shouldn't.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how secure your network is if somebody is intentionally, or unintentionally harming it because of ignorance.
Yeah, well, the biggest problem on the network is dumb.
It's like
right?
the whole the unsecure government facilities that was found out because people were just leaving infected flash drives around the parking lot.
Yeah.
And people are picking them up. Oh, look, a flash drive. Let's take it into my secure computer and plug it in and see what happens.
Right. Who knows what's on this?
Viruses. That's what's on it.
The viruses. So, and I don't mean dumb, by the way, in necessarily a negative connotation, right? There's a certain amount you just don't know.
Yeah, and I mean, there's ignorance is not a crime, until you let it become one because of it.
Right, and on the whole point of your IT administrator, the person that is managing your business network, the whole point of them is to filter that out.
And that's that's the guilty party here, is the dudes who are getting paid to lock that network down properly and be HIPAA compliant.
Yeah, it didn't.
Yeah, it's not. Ultimately, at the end of the day, it's really not the user's fault who clicked that email. He or she should never have been able to do that in the first place.
Right. Either shouldn't have been able to click on it in the first place, or if they were able to click on it, shouldn't have had enough access to take down the entire network.
Right.
And that's really what it comes down to. My job as an IT administrator is to make sure that I give you enough access for you to do your job. And that's it.
I mean, the sad thing here is that it's not like it's just a business that's suffering. It's potentially patients,
Mm-hmm.
people who need access to their information who potentially now can't get it. Really, the hospital had no choice but to pay it.
Right, and it turns out there's a lot of businesses that pay these on the quiet, and a lot of agencies that you wouldn't expect. There was a police department that did it, where they had all of their information, so the police department was just like, under the table, here's your Bitcoin.
Let's just make this go away.
Yeah, can you please give us our data back? And this brings me back to something that I've been harping upon for a long time, which is nobody should have that much data, right? Not much data to breach, not that much data to lose. And I really think that, because I know, like Donald Trump and Bernie Sanders are listening to this show.
Yeah, right now.
Right now, at this very moment, right? Because computer guru is such a big deal.
The entire political debate just quells for 1 hour a week.
You could just hear a political silence right now as I'm talking about this. Is that, first of all, we should have very strong, unbreakable encryption. But secondly, 2 years of data. That's it. 2 years of digital data is as far back as you can look on anyone at any time. Right? Everything is only 2 years of digital data. If they want to save stuff on you for longer than that, like tax records or any of that stuff, it's got to be paper. All right, you got to hire somebody to go down there and pull that file, and we have to go analog if we want to be able to keep our data safe, and keep yourself safe. This is my prediction. whoever does that will win the presidential election.
Well, you know, Mike, I mean, data's already supposed to be secure on paper.
Oh, that's
see what I
funny.
did there?
Yeah, that's nice.
Just let that one sink in.
Let's take a moment to mention our sponsor. That would be Perfection Auto Works. You can go to perfectionautoworks.com. Check out their website. They do a 26-point inspection for free. Mike Emery and his guys are great. You can go down there and take a look. I mean, shop's clean. They say you can eat off the floor. I'm a germaphobe.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, but it's really clean. It's shiny. The people are nice, very friendly. There's a line around the block. So, yeah, they must be doing something right. Check out perfectionautoworks.com. Listen to their advertisement, which is coming up right now on the Computer Guru Show. We'll be right back.
Computer troubles? Need some advice? Call in now. Mike Swanson will be back after these messages. The Computer Guru Show, AM 1030, KVOY, The Voice. Your technology guru, Mike Swanson, is answering all your questions one by one.
Yes, science!
So chime in with yours. The website is gurushow.com. Tune in, click in, and kick back. This is the Computer Guru Show.
Welcome back to the Computer Guru Show. My name is Mike, here to deal with your technology needs and treat you like a person in the process. 520-790-2040 if you want to be part of the show. Get some free tech support on. You know you got questions.
Wow.
There's hurricane force wind going on in here.
It's high tech.
Yeah. That fan works.
It does. No, it really does.
Totally blows.
So, what else do we got to talk about this week? Moving right along.
Kanye West wants to sue the Pirate Bay.
Yep, him and all of the other musicians. The best thing about that story is that Kanye West thinks that like he is going to make the difference, because it's not like whole countries have tried to take down Pirate Bay or anything.
Right.
They just haven't applied Kanye West to the problem yet.
Yeah, they haven't properly Kanye'd the problem.
I don't think he can afford the legal costs right now, though.
Isn't he like $53 million in debt? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, he was asking
Everyone?
Mark Zuckerberg for $1 billion on Twitter.
Yeah, right, huh?
He didn't even go to Facebook. I asked him on Twitter.
Don't even got the gumption to take it to the guy's own platform.
That's right. I'm going to ask you from way over here in this other platform that you have nothing to do with, that's competitive.
Yeah. Well, that's just because you're not thinking like Kanye West. It makes perfect sense.
And then, of course, the same thing. He's talking to Google's Larry Page, right, from Twitter.
He's like, hurry up, give me the $1 billion before Facebook does. Let's get a rivalry going here. Who can give Kanye West the most money?
So the whole point of the story isn't about Kanye and how ridiculous Kanye West is.
That is a part of it, though.
I mean, considering that he did say that he was boycotting the Grammys because he wasn't even nominated. Well, he said that he wouldn't go unless he was going to win Album of the Year, although he wasn't even nominated.
And collectively everyone went, oh no.
Oh darn.
Man, just cancel the whole thing now.
Taylor Swift got to lay off like half her security staff when she found that out.
That's good.
But the bigger issue is that the piracy thing, right? Yes, piracy is bad, okay? But the bigger deal is that he released his album
on the worst
Tidal,
the worst platform of all time,
right? On Tidal, right, which was it Jay-Z's music platform?
Yeah, it was a bunch of musicians who were the goal was going to be to create a platform by the musicians for the musicians to stop piracy, but it just didn't catch on.
So this would be like, it's sort of like Fubu for music.
Yeah, it was going to be like a subscription-based service, I think, and then you get access to all of the musicians who are on there. But the problem was that they wanted musicians to exclusively use Tidal. So you couldn't use Spotify or any of the other services if you wanted to be on Tidal. And so all the musicians were just like, no.
Right. And so the whole point is that the music industry is so out of touch with the way that people want to consume music that they're just lost, right? And then they don't understand why piracy exists of music.
Yeah, because the response to Kanye West putting his album out only on Tidal was one guy buying it on Tidal pretty much.
Right.
And then just putting it on the Pirate Bay for everyone else.
Right. And then it's free music for everyone.
Yeah.
And the whole point of this is that I'm sure that for a vast majority of the listeners that they don't even bother to pirate music. They pay the $1 or whatever it is for iTunes, right? Or they go out and they buy the CD if they want a particular piece of music. And the reason that is because for a lot of people, it's just too complicated to properly pirate music. I mean, that being said, Pirate Bay is not the right way to do that.
Yeah, no.
But the problem is that people are interested in paying people for music.
Yeah, I mean, like, I will gladly buy an album by one of my favorite musicians as long as it's readily available and easy to, and priced right, essentially. Right. But when it's on a subscription service that I don't care to have, or I have to just go to some crazy lengths to get the album, I would much rather just go see them live to give them my money and then get the album another way.
Another way.
Yeah.
All right. So there's, I think this is the part that the music industry is missing, is that they are too busy trying to, and by the way, this is not just the music industry, it's also the movie industry, where they decide that they want to control the terms, where they're basically operating off of 20-year-old assumptions about how people want to consume music. And rather than saying, well, let's see what's going on these days, why are people stealing music? And I think their first answer is, well, just they don't want to pay for it. And that's not true. I think for most people, they would happily support the artist at a reasonable cost if they could get it in the pipeline that they want. And Louis C.K. is a great example of this.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Louis C.K., he does these live shows. He was putting out specials that were just getting pirated like crazy. By the way, the dude's really funny, right? So people wanted to see them. And so he said, well, I'm not going to do it that way. And even for his concerts, right? He was unhappy that the ticket the Ticketmaster was gouging people. He
like
says,
crazy,
we're not going to do that. So he sells his tickets on his website for ultra cheap, right? Or if you want the show, you want to watch that special, it's $5.
$5. Anything that he makes, basically, $5.
$5, you buy it from his website, and he makes millions of dollars that way.
And it's not like you get a 24-hour window to stream it. No, direct download.
Right. You get a copy of it that's not protected, so you could share it if you wanted to. He just says, please don't do that.
And, honestly, so with the last Louis C.K. special that came out, I was like, okay, I want to watch this, and I thought about pirating it. And then I was like, oh, wait, he's got this set up in a really easy way. And the convenience factor of being able to just put in my $5 and instantly get the download, not having to wait for a torrent, not having to, any of that stuff.
Right.
I every time, that's how I'll do it. I have no problem with that at all.
Right. So if the movie and music industry really wants to be able to kind of stop spending so much money on gaggles of lawyers and suing people over piracy,
just adapt.
Make it less appealing to pirate. Right? It's all you got to do is make it simpler. Make it easier for people to consume the content you want them to buy.
Stop trying to make us as consumers fit your model, and instead make your model fit us as consumers. We're here ready to give you our money. You just have to listen to how we want to give it to you.
Right, and this is one of the ways that technology has changed business over the years. I mean, it used to be that they controlled every aspect of it, right? Where, 30 years ago, you wanted to go watch a movie, and there was no other option, right? You figured out what time you could go to the drive-in, and you paid them.
And you say thank you that they let you pay them.
And yeah, that was it, right? But technology has made it so that there are so many different ways that you can watch or consume these things. And it started with like the VCR, right? Where they were concerned that it was going to put them out of business because they would, people would be duplicating these copies and selling them at the swap meet. It happens every weekend, right? I don't see Hollywood hurting a whole lot, even though people are still making VHS and DVD copies of movies and putting them out at the swap meet. The thing is that's still not the way that people want to consume that media, and that's why that hasn't put them out of business. And it's also why piracy hasn't put them out of business, right? Because there are millions and millions of copies of movies that get downloaded. But people go to the movies for the movie experience most often.
And people still buy the DVDs to have them in their collection.
Yes. Not me.
Well, I mean, I don't buy DVDs, but I'm that way with music. If my favorite band puts out a new album, I buy it because I want to have it sitting on my shelf, and also to support them. But And there are people who do that with movies as well. There's people who still have 1,000 DVD collections, you know.
Well, the thing is I think that if the music artists really want to make a change to their bottom line, which I understand, the musicians don't make as much money as we might think they do.
Especially not on album sales.
Right. I think that, concert sales are definitely their primary bread and butter. And it's unfortunate that many of them are terrible live. But if musicians really want to make a change there, then there has to be some pressure applied to the labels. Because the labels are just consuming all that money, wasting millions or billions of dollars every year trying to sue people into oblivion they'll never be able to pay. Because they don't have the money to buy the album in the first place. That's why they're pirating
you're going to hit them with a $28 million lawsuit.
Right. So it's and what's Kanye West going to do, right? Kanye West he's going to fix wolves.
I'm going to fix wolves.
He actually tweeted.
That was a
"I'ma fix
legit
wolves."
tweet. You know what? Give him the $1 billion. I want to see what he does with it. Just so I can sit back and kind of enjoy that show.
Watch the fire. Watch it burn.
Laser-equipped wolves. I want to see it happen.
Dude, this is so ridiculous. I just... Kanye, man.
I don't know. He's almost so good of a troll that you just want to let it happen.
It's either performance art or the dude is literally a toddler. I can't
Does it even matter which it is?
It's just... Oh. We'll be right back.
Your computer guru, Mike Swanson, is here to help you tame that beast of a machine. Join the chat right now at gurushow.com or call in. This is the Computer Guru Show on KVOY, The Voice. Mike Swanson, your computer guru, is just a click away. Listen and watch at gurushow.com. This is the Computer Guru Show on KVOI, The Voice.
Welcome back to the Computer Guru Show. Oh, I just looked at myself.
He had one of those moments where he actually looked in the mirror for a second there. You have to like put that on the Facebooks or something.
I'll put it on the Facebook. I found a pair of reading glasses in here, and I just figured, well, put them on and see what thing. Basically, we were just being ridiculous.
We're just messing around. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, never mind. That's not good radio.
You had to be there.
Look for it on the Facebook.
You'll have to look for it on the Facebooks.
Or the Twitters.
You have to pluralize it. If you're going to put a "the" in front of it, you must pluralize it.
That's gonna be the background, or I'm gonna put it in the corner on the YouTube podcast this week.
Oh yeah?
Oh, you know what, guys? We never tell you about this, but you should go and subscribe to our YouTube channel because I'm trying to make it bigger and better.
Right, and we can't do it unless we have more subscribers.
So go to gurushow.com and then scroll down and click the YouTube icon.
Very nice.
Do that.
You can do that, Ken? You gonna do it?
I can do it.
All right, man. Make sure you tell your friends, okay? All right.
Right now. No, I want confirmation.
Confirmation. Okay. So Google and Red Hat have discovered a DNS vulnerability.
This is scary, honestly. It's not even funny. Like, it's just genuinely a scary concept.
It's even scary even though it's already been patched. So you're not doing that right. I guess maybe he is. You go to gurushow.com.
He's given me the visual confirmation I asked for.
Yeah, that's right. So Google and Red Hat have discovered a DNS vulnerability. It's already been patched. However, they're estimating it's going to take years for that patch to actually propagate out into the wild.
So is this going to be like, when I tell my customers that it's going to be 4 to 6 hours before the DNS changes propagate?
Right. So in this case, it'll be 2 to 4 years before the DNS changes have propagated. There was a hit the subscribe button right there, the red one there. So there was a vulnerability in glibc, which is a very common sort of everything uses it, and all the DNS servers use it. I don't think there's any DNS servers that are not Linux-based.
Yeah.
Can't think of any, no real ones anyway.
Probably all Red Hat based too.
Yeah, there's some Microsoft DNS servers out in the world.
They're like, hey guys, we're DNS too. And everybody's like, settle down. The adults are talking.
That's right. They pat Microsoft DNS on the head and they say,
"We'll put that on the fridge, honey."
So anyway, there was a way that attackers could send malformed DNS entries using this exploit in the glibc to cause a buffer overflow, which means that anything after a certain point gets committed as a command rather than as just thrown away.
So it's injection, basically.
Right. So they could say, well, let's send this super well-formed, gigantic DNS request into a DNS server, and they could then execute code on that server.
And the DNS server just goes, oh, look, code. I'm supposed to run that.
Right. And the scarier part is that they could conceivably make it so that your computer, when asking for a specific website, could respond with code to your computer to run information on your machine through the same back door.
Boom, infected.
Basically every computer anywhere.
So if they chose to target something like Facebook, a common request that virtually every machine makes,
Right.
suddenly now every machine is infected.
Or
And
Google.
big old botnet.
Yep. So luckily, this has already been fixed on most client machines. The problem is that DNS servers don't update nearly as often, or as far as the software updates are concerned. And there's a lot of DNS servers that are out there that aren't root servers. Right? Root servers are already fixed. Done. But as an example, we run a DNS server, several of them at Computer Guru. And before reading this article, I would have not known about this update. I mean, there's a certain updates that happen automatically.
But it's not like the DNS convention comes to you and is like, time to patch your software.
Yeah, by the way, have you updated your DNS software lately? And part of that is, it's third party to us, right? We rent that DNS server or license for that DNS server through cPanel, and then they do the updates. And so there's extra steps involved, but there's a lot of DNS servers out there that won't get updated.
Yeah, because the issue isn't that the major DNS providers aren't updating. It's that the little guys potentially don't even know that a problem exists.
And that's almost always the case. That was the same thing with the SSL problem that we had a
Heartbleed
couple years ago. Yeah, the Heartbleed. And that was, all the big guys have already fixed it.
Before we even knew about it.
Right. And then it's like, hey, by the way, guys, you need to, you need to update your SSL, modules on your servers, which are things that you just never think about, right? Because it's always running. And I guess that's one of the downsides. Like on Windows servers, you know about your updates because it crashes all the time and you got to do your updates.
Oh, a blue screen. Guess it was Patch Tuesday.
Yeah. So on Linux servers, though, on most of the internet servers, they run literally for years without interruption, without ever going down. And that's part of the beauty of those things. They never have to take them down, except for occasionally you have to do updates. And even updates on Linux servers they happen while the machine is running.
Yeah.
Which is beautiful.
Yeah, I run a couple Linux servers myself, and it's crazy that, they probably haven't rebooted in like months, and when they do, it's because I reboot them, not because they need to.
Right. There was one of the servers, the VIP server, actually, which is one of our primary web servers, it had been running for 14 months without any downtime until the power went out. Yeah, that was the only reason that the server went down at all is because there was no electricity. So the stability on Linux servers is just untouchable.
That's why they're used so commonly, that's why they're everywhere. But when an issue like this DNS problem comes along, it's scary because of the ubiquity of the software.
Right, because you don't think about it, because it's always running. You don't necessarily go and get those updates you need to make sure that you are safe. That's why you have nerds like us read the news.
I mean, the unfortunate thing about this is that as a user, there's not much you can do about it.
There's nothing you can do about it.
You can find your DNS provider and go to their house, but that's about it.
No, I mean, literally, most problems that are affecting users on wide scale, the only way that you have to keep you safe is to stop using the internet. That's it.
And that's no kind of solution at all.
Right. And it's non sequitur, right? It's not happening.
How am I supposed to find out what Kanye West is going to do to wolves if I don't have internet?
That's right. And cars.
Yeah, just cars. There's no specific Kanye West.
That guy makes me want to end the show. Okay. So Popcorn Time says they're back.
Again?
That's about all we're going to say about that.
I'll just be here holding my breath.
Yeah, see, the Popcorn Time is one of those things where they are finding the smallest of loopholes in order to try to exist.
It's really sad, too, because Popcorn Time is awesome. In terms of, from a technological standpoint, it is really cool.
right, so those of you who don't know what popcorn time is, it is the ability to log into a website and watch any movie or any TV show at any time, anywhere in the world, right now. It's really cool. It's a beautiful piece of software engineering, is really what it is. Considering
it's
what
peer-to-peer,
it does. Yeah,
so
it's effectively live torrenting without saving anything.
Yeah, it's like temporary, folder torrenting. So as you're streaming it, it's torrenting to your system, and you're helping other people who want to watch it at the same time, but you don't have to worry about it being stored.
Let's say you're even a hardcore pirate, right? You go out there and you're like, I'm going to go watch it. I'm going to go download this movie and watch it. You start the download. You've got really fast internet. You're like, man, I have to wait 20 minutes. Now at popcorn time, you click on the icon, it starts playing, and never saving it to your machine. It's really, really interesting as far as the way that it works. But it's also, it's one of those gray areas. It's technically not illegal, but it's also definitely not legal.
But because it's one of those things that, we were just talking about it before, the reason most people don't torrent is because they can't. They don't have the ability to do it or the knowledge. Popcorn time, it levels the playing field. If you can use Netflix, you can use popcorn time.
And it's actually easier than Netflix, and it's free. Costs you nothing. So you can check out popcorn time if you want.
But it'll probably be down in 5 minutes.
Right. So, but by the time this show makes it to podcast...
Yeah, that's actually probably true.
Popcorn time may be gone. Can you put a link in there?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll test it out.
So we'll put a link in the podcast description and see. Yeah, you'll have to leave a comment after the podcast to let me know. Does popcorn time work at the time that the podcast goes live?
Because it's kind of a joke, but at the same time, it's not. Like, popcorn time has gone down and then back up 20 times by now.
I think at least 6 times where they've legitimately announced, hey, we're popcorn time and we're changing the way you watch movies to, oh, we were popcorn time and you're not watching movies.
We changed
here.
Things for 5 seconds there.
That's right. We scared the music industry into suing us into oblivion 5 times now. Yeah.
It's too bad.
It is a little too bad. Did you see the new Google robot?
Which one?
The one from Boston Dynamics.
No, I don't think I did.
So the new Atlas robot is untethered and it works remarkably well. It's kind of scary. I posted something on Facebook this week about robots being abused.
Is this like a Terminator-style robot? Do I have to worry?
Yeah, a little bit.
Anyone named John Connor?
No, there's nobody named John Connor involved. It's one of those things, though, where it's kind of frightening to watch, but also kind of sad because the whole time people are trying to knock it over, or it's trying to bend over and pick up a box, and the guy scoots the box away with a stick.
Do you want a robot apocalypse? Because this is how you get a robot apocalypse.
It's Computer Guru Show. I'll be right back.
Whether you're dealing with hardware installation or, heaven forbid, a virus,
No!
Mike Swanson is answering all your questions one by one. So call in or chat in with yours. The website, gurushow.com. Tune in, click in, and kick back. This is the Computer Guru Show on AM 1030 KVOY The Voice. Mike Swanson, your computer guru, is just a click away. Listen and watch at gurushow.com. This is the Computer Guru Show.
Welcome back to the Computer Guru Show. My name is Mike, here to deal with your technology needs and treat you like a person in the process. Last segment of the show here. Already. I know. Let's go and talk to Mark. Hey, Mark, how are you?
Hey, Mike. I always enjoy your shows. And so I was going to call you about, because I've had to watch some makeup episodes of, The Blacklist on NBC.
Which is an amazing show, yeah.
Yeah, it is. Anyway, so I don't have the top-of-the-line high-speed internet because I'm too cheap to pay for it.
Right.
And, it stops and starts. It's blocky and crappy.
Right.
So I'm looking at this Popcorn Online thing.
Right.
I have to download the beta 3.2, and you're saying it's pretty safe. It's telling me it's safe. And
well, you're not going to get an infection from it.
Okay, yeah.
If that's what you're asking.
Anyway, so and I see Game of Thrones is advertised on here, so I could actually watch.
You could pretty much watch anything that's out there anywhere.
Okay. And it won't give me that start-stop and
it might. I mean,
that depends entirely on your connection.
Yeah, I mean,
it does.
Crappy internet's crappy internet. That's really all you can do about that.
All right, that's what I was wondering.
Get some better internet, Mark.
There's a way to get around that.
Yeah, pay them more.
Yeah, pay more.
Who's your provider?
It's Trico or Trico. It's
oh, okay, yeah. So TricoNet.
Yeah. So I live out nowhere, and that was at the time the only.
Well, you're kind of limited because you know, if you have TricoNet, you have it because you're geographically limited.
Yeah.
So you could ask TricoNet if there's a better speed.
There is. I just don't want to pay for it.
Okay.
So.
Then you're going to have to go to a friend's house to watch your movies, Mark.
So I'm going to suffer the same kind of thing I suffer now.
Maybe. You know, the torrenting stuff is generally faster.
Okay.
So you can give it a shot.
That'll be good. All right. Well, thanks a lot.
Thanks for the call. So Microsoft says that they're offering you fun facts, tips, tricks, and more on your lock screen.
But do you want to know what the more is?
The more is advertising.
Ads.
Yeah, advertising. So actually, you know, people have been complaining about this. They've been saying, well, Microsoft's showing full screen ads. That's technically not true.
Is Microsoft so hard up that they got to start getting into the advertising game now?
Well, they're advertising for their own products and Xbox.
Oh, okay. So you're not going to see like a Game of Thrones advertisement or something?
I doubt that you'll see a Game of Thrones advertisement. I think it's going to be more Microsoft-centric stuff. But this is the way it turned off. Just like with everything in Windows 10, you just find the setting.
And even if there's not a setting, there's always a way.
There's always a way.
Broken registry.
Yeah, well, basically, we'll put this link in the show notes also, so you know where to go to turn that off. I have actually been running Windows 10 on my computer for almost 2 years now. Not seen a single ad.
You know, the funny thing about Windows 10 is that if you're still on Windows 7, the little notifications you get, they're not asking you to upgrade. They're telling you, you're going to upgrade. It's just a matter of when.
Right.
You know, they're like, do you want to be reminded now or later?
Yeah. And later is now.
Yeah, later is 5 seconds from now.
Right, so they definitely get on you.
I close that window out of spite now, honestly.
Really, you click harder.
Yeah, just break my mouse. It's like, 90% of software upgrades are just to make the notification go away.
Yeah. That's most of how the people end up on my Facebook friends list. I just get tired of seeing that so-and-so has requested a fine.
See? Persistence is key.
Yeah.
It's everything.
Yeah.
Fine, I'll be your friend.
Yeah. You're not going to like it, but I'll be your friend. But then I get to play the game. I always have new ammunition for the game I play on Facebook, which is if you invite me to play a game on Facebook, I immediately unfriend you.
Well, everybody who's on your friends list now is like, is that why he added me?
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's probably true, yes.
Even you, Howard. Even his own brother.
I have a brother? No. All right. Just kidding. All right. 790-2040 if you want to be part of the show to get into the last spot here. But we want to take a moment to mention the stuff that Computer Guru does, seeing Computer Guru pays for this show.
And there's no setting to turn these ads off.
Right. You can't. Well, there is a setting that will turn this ad off.
Don't tell him that.
But you have to turn off the radio.
It's going to break your registry.
Right. Or you have to just plug your ears and make that la 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 sound.
But I would hope that you would want to, because the stuff that we talk about is actually pretty cool, unlike
Right.
Microsoft.
We try to offer you each week an opportunity to learn something about your computer, hopefully something funny that happened this week, and mostly how to be safe and confident while using your computers. And it's pretty easy to stay out of that infected realm, right? Or to not have poor internet etiquette. And if you're listening to the show, then hopefully you've taken something from it, right? Where you've taken something away that you are better at using your computer than you were before.
Even if it's just not clicking the giant green download button.
Don't click the giant green download button. And if you have, you can support us. You can go to gurushow.com. And there's a link there for Patreon.
Yeah, it would be cool to see some more people on Patreon because we got lots of fun stuff we want to do.
It's really cheap. We're only asking for $1 a month.
$1 a month.
Yep, and it gives you the ability to help keep us on the air, help pay for our expenses for doing the show. And there's other ways that you can support. You can do more than $1 a month. Desert Pro Commercial Cleaning does that, so they pay a bit more, and they get mentioned in the show every week. We say they are Tucson's best commercial cleaners in town, we actually let them clean the East Side location.
And they really are. I mean, they're spectacular. I've been there. It's nice.
It's clean.
The East Side location is,
Actually,
the cleanest.
See, they pay me for this, and then I pay them for cleaning.
So it kind of all just works out.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that works. It's circular.
Tax stuff I don't understand.
Yeah. Well, we'll just sweep it under the rug. So to speak. Anyway, yeah, Desert Pro commercial cleaners, they're awesome. And normally, Tara's here to do this bit way better than I do.
But you're not here, Tara, even though I know you're
Because
listening.
she's slacking. Anyway, yeah, check them out. Also, want to say thank you to our other sponsor, which is Perfection Auto Works, perfectionautoworks.com. They help out quite a bit, and it definitely helps pay some of the bills over here. Let's go ahead and talk to Mark real quick. Hey, Mark, how are you?
Hey, Edward. I've just started to think about, is there any way to filter out the superfluous stuff that you watch down in the lower left, just loading and loading and loading and loading when you're looking for like one text news article?
I need a little more context.
Oh, okay, a little more context. Let's say you go to a web page to read a story or whatever it is, and
Right.
it's just loading stuff from page after page after page of bizarre website, filling up the page with all their superfluous extra stuff.
Do you mean ads?
Yeah, ads and whatever. I mean, is there?
Which browser are you using?
Well, I've used all three.
But which one do you currently use?
Most of the time, it's been. Oh shoot! Now I can't.
What's the
even
icon
remember
look like?
Yeah, the Netscape. The Netscape.
The
follower.
Firefox?
Firefox.
Okay.
Yeah, Firefox is most of the time.
It's like you're on
That's like
Netscape,
if you're
man.
using Netscape.
We
No,
got to talk about
right.
20 years
Although-
worth of
although
technology.
I have to tell you, I was most happy with like Netscape 4. Yeah, right. Okay.
That at this point, not a lot of people know that the Firefox is Netscape based.
Yeah, right. When you're around when the first the first Mosaic popped up and said, "My God, the internet can have graphics."
Well, because we're out of time, I'm going to give you
Yeah.
I'm going to give you the short answer here.
Yeah.
uBlock.
uBlock.
Oh, uBlock. That's what I was looking for. Just give me a something that might try it, and we'll see what
Letter
we can do.
U block.
Yeah.
It's an
All right.
extension,
An extension for Firefox that will block all of those ads.
and it's
Oh,
amazing.
great.
There you go.
Hey, thanks a lot. Hey, good show, and see you around.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate
Bye.
the call. Also, you guys need a website. I know you do. And Rob is the guy that you need to talk to. So
I
give
do
us-
those.
Yeah, call us down at the shop at 304-8300. If you want to improve your web presence, if you want to improve your ranking, if you just want a better looking site. Does your site look like crap? Because a lot of people think it does. You should change that. You should give us a call.
Well, I'll tell you it in a nicer way, but it'll come out looking better. I promise you that.
I won't say it in a nicer way. I pull no punches over here at the Computer Guru Show.
But
Just don't.
I like building websites. It's what I do, so help me out.
And it also keeps Rob employed.
I like being employed, so
So it's awesome. Thanks for listening to the Computer Guru Show this week. We really appreciate it. Come see us at 510 East Fort Lowell or 64 North Harrison, where we're happy to help you with any of your technology needs. And of course, we'll treat you like a person in the process. We'll see you next week.